One of the most expensive mistakes that I've made as a leader, and probably the most frequent mistake I've made, isn't hiring the wrong person. It's hiring the right person, but putting them in the wrong role. And that doesn't only hurt the business, it hurts the person as well. In my company, one of our key components, our tagline, how we operate, is that you matter. So it's a critical mistake when I hire somebody just wonderful, but put them in the wrong role. Everyone is born with a unique ability or a natural strength or a superpower. I learned many years ago that what I was interested in and gravitated towards were people's natural strengths. I started studying a program called Strength Finder and learned that people in their natural strengths perform better, are happier, get more done, and typically stay loyal because they're doing something that they love to do. And I learned probably 15 years ago to really just focus on someone's strengths. I think amateurs focus on trying to improve one's weaknesses. Don't get me wrong, there's areas where people need to get a little bit better in a weakness, but focusing on getting a weakness, making that a top priority, I think is a very big mistake as a leader. I think recognizing people for their contribution that is coming from their strengths and their unique ability is going to go much further. It's going to move your company along further, but more importantly, it's going to get people happy in their role, working harder, loving their job, typically contributing more, which adds value to the people around them and keeps them around a heck of a lot longer. In the mortgage business, and that's the business that I've been in for 37 years, we tend to get so, I'll call it desperate, excited to bring on salespeople, to bring on loan originators. And if somebody has a license, we go after them. And that's crazy. And that happens across the board in the lending industry. I think it's a common mistake to just try to fill your company with as many loan officers as you can. And the ones that make it, great. The ones that don't, fall and go away. And I've made that mistake before, and it costs so much money, it costs so much time. It's a ridiculous path to go down, and it's simply because I'm just focused on the role. I'm not focused on one's strengths. So another mistake we make as leaders is we let our ego get in the way, and we think that we could change people. Somebody has a great personality, somebody might be very smart, somebody might be very articulate, and we think that we can groom them into the role that we need or that we have open, and we think we could tell the story of how we've succeeded or how this person succeeded in sales, and this person, because they have these strengths that you are attracted to, that they're naturally gonna do well as well, and that's simply not the case. Another mistake we make as leaders is we move people in sales that have had great careers as a salesperson, and we think that they're naturally going to be a great sales manager or leader in an organization. And sometimes we put them into a role because we don't want to lose them in sales. They think that it's their natural transition in their professional career to now become a manager. And it's simply just takes two different skills. Interestingly enough, back in 1988, when I was a loan officer and started Partners Mortgage, a consultant that I had, the first question that this couple asked me was, do you want to build Partners Mortgage, or do you want to increase your loan officer skills and do more loans? And I struggled with that question because I'd only really done loans or managed a few loan officers. But after some consideration, it was really the passion of growing a company that excited me. And so we looked hard at my natural skills, and they fell more into coaching and leading people more than active sales conversations and just pursuing transactions and more revenue and building some relationships. I did okay with that because I was driven to make money and I was competitive, so I wanted to be at the top. But as a natural skill, I'm much better fitted as a leader of people rather than somebody selling. And they go hand in hand, right? So all positions, all roles, as even parents, we lead and we sell. So it's just a mistake that leaders often make, is we think we could transition somebody into a higher role on an org chart, but it's not necessarily the right role for individuals. The other thing is that people are naturally, they're visionaries, so they're big picture, they're dreamers, they're maybe some strategy. They could be great relators, good with people, great speaking, but you're looking for somebody in operations. And so maybe because somebody's not a good hunter, so they don't go out and make sales, they're better farmers. So they like being inside the office and having sales brought to them. Well, it's important at that point to identify, does somebody belong in operations and support, or does somebody belong in sales? And then from there, are they capable? Do they desire to be in leadership? To go back on strengths a little bit, and hopefully this could help leaders out there and even parents, that you can see strengths in children. So as they're toddlers, what do toddlers gravitate towards? Are they organizing their blocks? Are they putting things in line? Are they more into art and creation? Are they playing games and wanting to be the leader of the games, or are they more introverted and want to be a little bit of a follower? Those are all things to pay attention to as a parent. And as you become a leader in your organization, watch and pay attention to where people get excited in conversations. Are they excited about growth? Do they come up with lots of ideas? Are they really competitive? Do they just want to be left alone and put in the corner to look at work and get specific tasks done? Are they more driven towards technology or marketing? Or do they like the accounting? Do they like financials? Natural strengths come alive when you have more conversation and when you observe. And I'm telling you, from 37 years of experience, getting people in the right seat is absolutely 100% of everything. Our company grows when people are loving where they're at, when they're loving what they do all day. Productivity soars. People get rewarded for what they're naturally skilled at. They're not in a job that they find boring and they struggle with, and they ultimately leave because they just don't like the job. What I found is that if something's not working, if people aren't happy in their job, if there's things that continually break or continual problems, it's not the person that's wrong. And often we look at and think, what's wrong with them? 100% of the time, are they in the right role? Because everybody, again, has these natural strengths. And I use a program called Strength Finder that I told you about a minute ago. And I've had 100% success rate with, they take this little assessment and it gives them their top 5 natural strengths. And I really have never seen an assessment come back incorrectly. Do they change a little bit over time? A little bit, but I've taken a Strength Finder 3 times in my career. And the first 2 times they changed position, but the top 5 were my top 5. And the 3rd time I took it, it was after my late wife passed away, about a year after that, and did a Strength Finder. And we found that one strength fell off and one strength was added, and it was really due to where my need and focus and energy was going at the time. But the message I wanted to tell you is that my natural strengths stayed fairly consistent. I'm big picture. I'm a relator. I like working with people. I like connecting people with opportunities. And those are a lot of my natural strengths. And when I stay in that place, man, I'm happy. The day goes by very fast, and we tend to grow, and I notice everybody else is in kind of that same position. It's when I go home frustrated, struggling with different challenges, or I'm in conversations with people that are experiencing the same types of feelings, that early in my career, I tried to help them, or I tried to fix me. Late in my career, it's been 100% what's your role, what are the objectives, what are our strategies inside this role, and is this person right for that job? And makes all the difference in the world. And so it's never one's identity. We always stay focused on the role. So if somebody's in the wrong role, leader, that's your fault. It's not their fault. They may want to go from sales to sales manager, but now it's time for really just a healthy conversation about growth and why they want to be a leader. Is it that they want to make more money? They want to impact more people? They don't like the sales conversation. They like coaching. They like team building. It'll give you an idea of what they love to do, because I've never seen the top salespeople fall into a role where they didn't still want to stay in sales because they were making so much money and they thought they were going to make way more money managing. A few do, but the majority of their sales drop a little bit because they have to spend time managing, and then they become frustrated because this team that they have aren't doing the same things that they did to get them there. And that all is because they're in different roles, the wrong role, or they have different strengths. So if somebody's got a strength of, they're a relator, so they love people, does that mean they're good in big crowds? Or does that mean they're better on one-on-one and intimate relationships? So you could take this thing really and fine tune it to the specifics that they enjoy and that they love doing. So I love people, but I definitely enjoy more of an intimate gathering. So I'm more of an introvert than an extrovert. And people often say, well, then you're not a people person. No, I love people, and there's times when I'm in a big room or I need to be an extrovert. I can play that role a little bit, but naturally I enjoy just smaller, more impactful conversations than surface conversations with lots and lots of people. And so my message to you leaders is to pause for a second, and rather than just think more is better, and that means growth in your company, I would challenge you to think of really, is growth more sales if you lose people because they're unhappy and you got to continually replace? Is more when business slows down a little bit, and so you got to get rid of people in the support roles because you don't have work for them? I think that all could be prevented, and I think that's what we've done really successfully. Is everybody matters, and so how do we keep people doing things that they enjoy doing, keep them in the right role, and make sure that they're continually thriving? Doesn't mean the business is always going up, but it means we're getting stuff done and we're preparing for the next market. And ironically, our business has always grown because of that philosophy, and I think people just are happier and feel like they're more appreciated, and that they have a career. We have lots of people that have been with us a very, very long time. We've had top salespeople make so much money they've retired. And that's kind of where I see my role, is to make sure people are happy and that their values match with ours, and that their excitement and vision for what they want to achieve, that I help them get to those goals. And so alignment changes absolutely everything. And as I approach, so I'm going to be 66 in a month, and man, it's like I used to think the 66-year-olds are the guys retired, and not me. And I want to encourage everybody above the age of 45 to start designing their life so that they can work longer. But remember, when I say work longer, I mean being in the right role. I love my role now. I've got people around me that are much better at doing the things that I used to do because they're in their role. They thrive in different type of leadership roles or management roles or sales roles. And I can sit back and use my skill of observation, some strategy, building relationships for the future, and I'm happier, we're growing, and I think that's the key. So you 45, 50-year-old leaders out there, you're gonna live longer if you stay healthy and pay attention to what needs to be done in your body and your mindset, and to take care of yourself so that you can live longer. Because you're gonna live longer, that means there's more opportunity for you, and you're gonna need to invest and make more money, and because you're gonna create this second half that is just powerful. So as a leader, for me, I want my second mountain to be every bit as good as the first half was, and substantially better. And I know that I'm on that path, and I really want you to come on this path with me, because the future is so cool. The technology that's coming, everything we've learned in the first half, we can now help these young people who are a little bit lost. I think we can get them on track. I think we can help them prepare and utilize the technology, utilize AI to become better at their role and not replaced. I see that as my role now as a leader. I think it's very important that I make sure that the people that have entrusted me in a job, that I make sure that that job is always there. And that requires a whole new way of thinking for me. So I want to inspire you all to think bigger as a leader, not so transactionally, not just focus on how much money you're making, but how you're impacting people and how you're making sure that people are loving their job. What good is it to put somebody in a role that you need that they're just not happy in? It's pretty selfish. So I think it's really important to identify what somebody wants and put them in a seat that they can help you and your company grow as well. I think it's a win-win. And I invite anybody who wants to challenge that thinking or have a conversation with me to follow me, give me a call. I love talking leadership. I love talking the future. So I invite you to give me a call anytime.